Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio, everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here, and today we're back again with another Danmachi Memoria Freese video, and we're doing the Should You Summon for the Hero Festa Gacha banner for part 3 of the 6th anniversary. Now, of course, if you guys want to enjoy today's video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, let me know in the comment section down below if you have used one of the new Hero Festas. What do you guys think about them? Do you like using them? Do you think they're very strong? Do you think they're weak? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now, I've already done my own summons, so if you want to check them out, you can go and check them out. They were banging. Honestly, the best summons I've ever done on this channel. I would highly recommend you guys go and watch that video as well. But also, one more thing to note is that I will be doing showcases for each individual Hero Festa over the next few days. So if you want to find out more about one of the Hero Festas, get subscribed. I will be uploading those videos in the next couple of days. Now, back to the Should You Summon. This Should You Summon is very straightforward because the honest answer is yes, you should be summoning on this banner. I don't think that's even a question. The real question of this video, however, is whether or not you should go beyond the 20 steps. Remember, this banner is 20 steps and you spend 6,400 iris to get to that 20 steps. You get 4 guaranteed new Hero Festas and it is also double rates. So it is very, very, very good and beneficial to just do the 20 steps, obviously, to try and get as much as possible with the double rates and of course the guaranteed Hero Festas. The real question is whether or not you should go beyond the 20 steps. And honestly speaking, I think depending on your iris count, you should. This banner is live until the 13th of September, so you have more than enough time to farm a bunch of iris. We're getting 1,000 iris login bonus. We're getting obviously a lot of Record Buster and War Game sessions over the next couple of weeks. We're getting a Familiar Rush as well. So there are various sources for you to get a bunch of iris. So in all honesty, summoning more than the 20 steps is absolutely fine, especially on a Hero Festa Gacha banner. It's always worth it because these banners not only feature the new Hero Festa Gachas, but also they also feature the last Hero Festa Gacha units as well. Like for example, if you take a look right here, you can get Otaro, Alan, Ryu, Alize, Bell, and Astraeus from the previous gachas. Now their rates are 0.166%, but you can get these units from previous gachas, and trust me when I say this, I'll let you guys know on a little bit of a spoiler. I ended up getting, I think it was 5 or 6 old Hero Festas in my polls. So it is not impossible for you to pull one of these guys. I managed to get Alan to MLB, just as a bit of a spoiler there. I did get Alan to MLB. I went from +4 to +5. So I will say this, it's not a bad idea to go for this banner just because you can get the older Hero Festas. Now there's a couple of reasons as to why I would potentially be hesitant in spending all my iris on this banner. Reason number 1, this banner features every single 4-star from 2017 onwards. Unlike the previous anniversary banners where they only featured units from 2022 to 2023, this banner features every 4-star non-time limited unit that's available in this game, which is unbelievable. It just has a chance for you to potentially get something that's really, really old and something that's not going to be of use to you. So that's something to bear in mind. Personally, I don't think that's that much of a factor because their rates are 0.04%, and of course the new Hero Festas take up like 3% of the overall adventure featured rate, right? So still, I would say that this is still really solid overall, to be quite honest, right? There's no harm in doing multiple multis, and I mean there's always a chance that even if you do get an old unit, you might get a unit from like the last year basically, right, instead of the Hero Festas, of course. So there is that factor. The second factor is that, well, there is another banner coming up actually at the end of the month. On the 31st of August, as part of the EX story release, we are getting a post-loot banner featuring most likely units like Finn, Philvis, Dionysus, Revis maybe. So obviously people will probably want to summon for that as well, and as a result you might want to save up at least 4,000 iris. That's what I'm doing. If you take a look at my iris count right now, right, I have enough saved up for that upcoming banner as well, so that I can obviously create content for you guys, of course, right? But obviously a lot of people might be wanting to save up for that potentially. If you are a fan of Finn or if you're interested in the villains potentially, well, you can save up for that banner instead, of course, right? So that is something to bear in mind, and potentially you might want to save up for that as well. And that's what I did for my summons yesterday actually. Was like, I was like, you know, I'll spend this much iris and then I'll save the rest for the upcoming banner basically, so that I can summon on it. it. So that's something that you might want to do. But outside of that, honestly, I would say overpulling is not a bad idea whatsoever. I would actually recommend overpulling potentially, right? Because to be quite honest, with 3 Hero Festas, it's a little less likely for you to be able to actually get everybody 2+5, right? So you may as well do that. And then of course you can take the help of, potentially if you are a spending player, you can take advantage of the paid multis. Or alternatively, if you go into part 3 of the tail, of course, right, the part 3 tail, and you go to the exchange, once you finish off the normal side, you will get a token that you can use to exchange for one of these Hero Festa bonds. So that'll also help you out tremendously. So something for you guys to keep in mind when you're obviously summoning on this banner. Now let's take a look at each unit individually, and let's talk about how good they actually are. To me personally, from my limited testing, I haven't still fully tested them. I've just been taking them into some PvE stages. I've just chucked a random team together for TA as well. All 3 of these units are freaking broken. I've seen eyes just randomly shoot out 50,000 damage in war games / TA, more so TA. It wasn't even in war games, it was in TA. It's insane. It is genuinely insane. And then Lafia, on the other hand, it is basically what I said she was. She's the replacement to Vesta. She is the replacement to Vesta. Lafia is indeed the replacement to Vesta. So let's take a quick look at these units and let's talk about what makes them good. And I want to go into more detail about what makes them good. I'm removing my headphones for now. We're getting serious right now. But 1000 Determination Lafia Viridis, a Thunder Magic unit with some really nice stats, really good agility, really good magic. Overall, a phenomenal unit. She's so cracked. She is so cracked. So if you take a look at her special arts, Explosive Lightning, it's an AoE Ultra Thunder magic attack, damage plus 120% per each self magic buff skill, and ultra penetration rate, and remove status buffs and stun. Once again, this is a very strong special arts, especially if you go into PvE or PvP. If she pulls this off, it's a very easy technique to pull off and a very easy to maximize the damage out of, because all you need is magic buffs. And then on top of that, she's able to remove status buffs and potentially apply stun, provided the enemies aren't wearing like stun anklets or anything of that sort. So it's really strong, very powerful. But that's not the key feature of this Lafia. Her key features are in her first skill and her second skill. Her first skill, Shockbreaker Plus, is a slow super thunder magic attack with temporary magic boost and ultra encounter rate, and it also removes agility, god rate, and MRes buffs. And that is the beautiful part of Lafia, and that is the best part about Lafia. The fact that she does a slow thunder magic attack means she will go last, of course, unless an opponent has something like a Intario or Galmusa ring, which basically slows them down tremendously, more so Intario ring. If they have something like that, then sure, this Lafia is gonna go like second last instead, right? But this is still very good because it's a slow super thunder magic attack and it can remove agility, god rate, and MRes buffs. Obviously, because she goes last, that means she will be the last to strip the buffs. She will go be, you know, after the likes of Belle, after the likes of so many other characters who anyways do a slow buff for their agility. She'll just go first and be able to strip them away of those buffs basically. So that helps her out massively. Furthermore, she also increases the damage received by AoE attacks by 40%, so increasing the damage on turn 2 anyways. And then she also gives herself 100% magic and 4 additional actions of high thunder magic attack, damage plus 50% per each self thunder attack damage buff skill, and ultra on god rate, and status debuff plus 3 turns on foes. Again, this additional action is really strong for PvE content as well as just generally in PvP as well. She'll deal a lot of damage. Very strong unit there. 1000 Sparkle is really good as well because it strips away the opponent's damage reduction as well. So if you take a look at it, it's a fast ability, high thunder magic attack with temporary magic boost, ultra on god rate, and strips away the opponent's damage reduction AoE from AoE attacks, the damage reduction they get from AoE attacks. And then she also reduces the opponent's STR magic, dexterity, and thunder res by 40%, gives herself and her allies thunder attack damage and crit rate plus 60%, and also removes magic debuffs and gives and avoids KO to all allies. Once again, a very solid ability, very strong ability. Going from skill 1 to skill 2 will be phenomenal for this Lafia. Once again, they've designed these units amazingly, honestly. They've designed them beautifully. Energy Bolt is a single target super thunder magic attack, damage plus 100% per each self magic buff skill, and ultra on god rate. Again, very strong for PvE, 200% damage, super single target, very strong, very strong, of course. Now we move on to Eyes, White Wind Eyes Wallenstein, and I think she is my favorite unit, to be quite honest. She is a light magic attack type unit, so you guys already know that I like light units already, so she's automatically going to be one of my favorites, of course. But she is going to be phenomenal for the light PvE team. If you look at her stats, right, 2180 magic, 1001 agility, 1086 dexterity, and 1029 endurance. Now, you might be looking at the agility and thinking it's quite low, but it's actually to her benefit, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So if you look at the special arts, Immaculate Meteor, it's a single target ultra light magic attack, damage plus 40% per each self magic agility light attack damage buff skill. So that's a 240% damage buff on her special arts, and it's a single target attack. So phenomenal for PvE contents, like I said. She also gives herself 80% MP heal, 4 additional actions of highlight magic attack damage plus 30% per each self magic agility light attack damage buff skill, and ultra penetration rate on foe, and increases SA gate charge gain by 66% and magic agility light attack damage plus 100% for 2 turns, and then gives a 30% max HP barrier on allies. Unbelievable unit here in terms of damage. Raw damage, she's gonna do a lot here. She's gonna do a lot of damage here, and this is gonna be phenomenal for PvE contents. Honestly, she's gonna be insane. But she's not just good at PvE, she's gonna be phenomenal in PvP as well. In my personal opinion, she's very similar to the 5th anniversary Finn in terms of the way they designed her. That her special arts and her 3rd skill are ridiculous for PvE contents, but she does have 2 skills that are going to be phenomenal in PvP as well. So, if you take a look at Holy Trail, it's an AoE slow super light magic attack with temporary magic boost and ultra on counter rate, and removes STR magic and MRes buffs and self magic agility and light attack damage plus 80% for 6 turns. Now I want to take a look at that first and foremost. Now you might be wondering, Gale, it's an 80% agility bonus, but like she's gonna get it stripped away, right? Well, no. Because one, it's a slow super light magic attack, which means she will go slow. But because if we go up against, let's say for example Lafia, for example, right, who can strip away agility buffs, which means that she could strip away Ice's buffs, that won't happen. Because if you look at their inherent agility stats, right, Lafia is faster, 1286 versus 1001, which means Eyes will always go after Lafia unless the opponent gives Lafia an Ontario or something like that, which reduces her agility even more so. So unless that happens, Eyes will go slower than Lafia no matter what, which means she will get the agility bonus no matter what as well. Makes her a phenomenal option, makes her a fantastic option to pair alongside Lafia herself, in all honesty, as well. Really ridiculous unit. She also gives herself a 40% max HP barrier and 3 additional actions of highlight magic attack damage plus 20% per each self magic agility light attack damage buff skill, and ultra penetration rate on foes, 30% HP heal, and increase SA gate charge gain by 33% for 3 turns on allies. Phenomenal additional action as well. Really strong. You're getting basically 120% damage from the highlight magic attack, which means on turn 2 she is gonna hit like a truck. And then on top of that, like I said, that damage, I've seen 60Ks. And then on top of that, you're getting the HP heal and SA gate charge bonus. Phenomenal unit. Her second skill, Shiny Bloom, is a foe's fast magic agility light res minus 40% and damage received attack type all in single targets plus 30%. It's a debuff, which means that because of her agility bonus that she's getting, and of course the fact that this is a buff slash debuff, she will go first no matter what. Then on top of that, she gives allies magic agility light attack damage plus 40% for 3 turns and removes any sort of damage received attack type all and single increases from her allies, basically. So any allies that are suffering from a increase in damage taken, she strips them away, basically. This is also a very good skill because the second skill gives that agility control as well, which is phenomenal. Really solid unit again here. With her first 2 skills alone, she is a monster for PvP. And then her third skill is, honestly, it is ridiculous. It is genuinely ridiculous. Slow super light magic attack with ultra penetration rate damage plus 50% per each self magic agility and light attack damage buff skill. You guys might have realized that that is 300% damage increase there, and allies 20% MP heal and ailment cure. Yes, she gives herself 300% damage on her third skill. Phenomenal unit, phenomenal unit. These are their passives as well, if you want to take a look at it here, of course, right? You've got the regular manifestation, so water res on Lafia, dark res on eyes. Then you've got a bit of bonuses from the stats, of course, on her passives. 30% damage on critical and penetration for Lafia, 25% on eyes. Ailment res for Lafia and Dragon Killer, whereas Eyes has basically P-res and M-res 25% as well as Dragon Killer. And then for the additional bonuses that you get for obviously limit breaking them on +1 and +5 respectively, +1 Lafia gets 45% guard rate, and +5 she gets 10% HP and MP regen. And then Eyes, if you give her +1 and +5, she gets additional P-res M-res when you're equipping her with a sword, and then an extra bit of damage with penetration if you give her a sword as well, which you will. You'll give her magic desperate no matter what, basically, right? So that's something to bear in mind. Now let's go on to our MC, Heroic Vigor Bell Crenel. Water magic unit, so I was right, we were gonna get a water Hero Festa inevitably. It just took a while basically, but here are her stats: 1300 agility, very strong agility stat, 2150 magic, 1100 dexterity, 960 endurance. Overall very solid, right? Then if you take a look at his special arts, Ringing Strike, it's an AoE ultra water magic attack, damage plus 40% per each self magic guard rate and counter rate buff skill. Again, 240% damage on his AoE special arts. He also gets ultra critical rate and allies magic 120% for 3 turns, and removes P-res, M-res debuffs, and damage received, attack type, all, and single targets increase. So he's very strong in that regards, where he's got good damage. He's also able to support the team quite well, and he's also able to, you know, strip away any damage increasing buffs or debuffs on, you know, ourselves, on our allies basically. So it's very solid in that regards. He is a magic stall unit, if you couldn't tell already, based on the fact that he is effectively stripping away anything that increases damage to his allies. And if you look at his first skill, you'll understand why I'm saying he is a stall unit. Allies fast magic, guard rate, and counter rate plus 40% on triumphant return, and damage received, attack type, all, and single targets minus 40%. So he gives damage reduction to his allies, he gives them counter rate and guard rate as well, and then on furthermore, for himself, he gives magic, guard rate, counter rate plus 80%, and then fire, earth, and light rest plus 80% for 5 turns, and he gives himself a 40% max HP barrier. Insane. Honestly, so good. Then 4 additional actions of high water magic attack and HP heal 30% of damage, and STR magic agility and water res minus 40% and on foes, and STR magic agility and water attack damage plus 40% for 3 turns on allies. So his additional action basically gives him that agility, control, and support ability as well. It is a very strong stall unit, and in all honesty, I would not be surprised to see him paired up with units like Hero Festa Ryu in order to just make the strongest magic stall team ever known to mankind. Honestly, he'll be insane. He basically, with his fire res and light res, counters Hero Festa Elise and the old Elise from the Astray Record novel gacha. I'm still uncertain on how good he is compared to Eyes, of course, right, in this situation, right? How good will Eyes be able to penetrate through his defenses, or will Bell be strong enough to counter Eyes potentially? That's going to be very interesting to see, but I mean, this is very strong in itself, to be quite honest. It is very strong in itself. Whirlpool Dance is its second skill. It's a super water magic attack with temporary magic boost and ultra on counter rate, and P-res M-res minus 40%, and also damage received, attack type, all, and single targets plus 30% for 2 turns, and removes STR magic agility, endurance, and dexterity buffs. Again, he's getting that agility control as a stall unit as well, with his additional actions and this second skill, being able to strip away the opponent's agility buffs. It's very strong overall, so he's really good as well. Torrent Blade is a single target high water magic attack, damage plus 60% per each guard rate and counter rate buff skill, and ultra penetration rate. Pretty darn solid even for PvE contents. That's going to be 240% basically you're getting from his third skill and his single target skill. The only issue is it's a high modifier, not a super modifier. This Bell is insane as well, to be quite honest. He is insane. All 3 of these units are insane. And mind you, the reason why I say he blocks Hero Festa Elise, by the way, he gets an inherent 45% fire res through his passive skill, and then he adds an 80% fire res through his first skill. He gets 125% fire res, I should say. He is going to be insane against fire units. Fire teams are going to be scared of this guy, basically. And he's going to be strong as well. He's going to deal a lot of damage as well, so that's something to bear in mind as well. So when he counters, this is, I didn't see this. STR magic debuffs minus 3 turns on himself. Wow, okay, that's a very interesting counter ability. Damage 25% on pawn, critical, and penetration for +1. And at +5, oh my god, he gets even more P-res and M-res. insane unit. Honestly, insane units. All three of them are very good in their own right. I would say that it depends on what you're looking for, realistically. I would say if you're working on Magic Rush, you kind of need both Lafia and Eyes, I would say. Whereas an Eyes, I feel like is going to be a very, all three of them are actually very universal units, to be quite honest. I was going to say that Eyes is probably the most universal of them. I guess if you want to look at PvE standpoint, yes, she's probably the most universal one and the most balanced one. She's going to be used in PvP and PvE. Whereas Lafia and Belle, both of them, right, are very strong for their own teams. In PvE, I wouldn't necessarily say they would be the go-tos potentially. They might be a part of it for sure, and I think they'll do a really good job there potentially as well, right? But I don't know how good they'll actually be. Again, this is something that we're gonna definitely test out. And actually, one second, let me just check something. I want to check them out in PvE, and let me check my 7 zone. What is in the 7? Oh, perfect. Okay, this is beautiful. So when we do the individual showcases, I will definitely be taking both Belle and Lafia into these stages to just try it out. I want to see how they fare against their specific stages. We're definitely going to be testing it out. We're definitely going to be testing it out for sure. But yeah, all three of them are very good. Lafia, like I said, is the replacement for Vesta. Being able to strip away agility buffs and everything is going to be phenomenal. Then Eyes, on the other hand, with her raw damage, as well as the ability to go first on the second turn, no matter what, thanks to her setup, is going to be phenomenal. And then Belle, if you put him in the 5th slot or even in the 1st slot of any team, to be quite honest, he'll be able to survive most attacks, to be quite honest. The only thing he'll be a bit shaky against is probably other elements like Thunder, Dark, and stuff like that. But he'll still hold his own, in my personal opinion. So, something to bear in mind. All in all, these three units are phenomenal, and I would highly recommend summoning on this banner and potentially even overpulling. Of course, you can probably save 4,000 Iris just in case for the next banner coming up, of course, right? We don't know who's going to be in it and what's going to be in it, so you might want to summon on that banner. So there's no harm in waiting, because remember, this banner is up until the 13th of September. That banner, the next banner, is coming out on the 31st of August. So people have more than enough time to actually work towards, you know, saving up for the next banner, while also making a decision on whether or not they want to summon on that banner or this banner. Of course, if you guys went on to enjoy this video, there you have it. All of that is said and done. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section down below. And of course, like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.